Let me share a science fiction story from one of my favorite books called The Player of Games by Banks. This book takes place in a... This book is part of the Culture series. And the Culture is a society, a very futuristic society, where we have humans, different alien races, all spread across the galaxy. And the Culture is kind of this techno-utopian, communistic society, post-material society. They have advanced so much technologically that you have anything you want. There's trillions of people on different planets. They build these orbitals, flying, massive flying structures in space where people are living. And you can get anything you want. If you want your own planet to mold and do however you want, you can do it. If you want to live forever, you can do it. If people are changing sex, they are looking different. It's just anything you want, you can do. And the interesting part about this society is that AI is ruling this society. There's this thing called minds. A mind is a vastly developed artificial intelligence that is just super intelligent. And these minds are kind of in a decentralized way steering the culture. So what is the role of human beings in this society? Well, the main character of the Player of Games, he is player of games. He's playing games, different board games, chess, more advanced games, any type of game you can imagine. And this kind of reflects how the society works there. When human beings are not needed in the decision making of every day, the big picture, they are still doing a lot of interesting stuff. There's all different types of games you can play. People play status games, they arrange parties, they arrange sports, they have families, they have all kind of social events, anything you can imagine. There's different trends, sometimes the trend is that you should change sex or try this other thing, or sometimes the trend is that, oh wow, you should die. This is kind of exotic to actually die, because most people keep on living. It's like, why would you die? Well, there's a huge society, lots of people and lots of diplomats, and people are still figuring out what to do. But the main character, he's the best player of games in this society, and there's trillions of people, so he's amazingly good at not one game but like the meta level of different games. So the book story is the culture has met this new empire, a different society in space, and this empire is kind of archaic. It's not as developed as the culture, and the empire's whole idea is they have a society, very hierarchical society. They don't have AIs, they are kind of old school, and this society is based upon a game. And the game is so complex and mimics life to such a degree that whoever is best at this game, the winner, they have like a tournament every 5 years or whatever it is, becomes the emperor, and then they become, every every level of society is determined by how you place in this game. So the advanced AIs of the culture realize that this society is very archaic, it's kind of dying out. They have all these old concepts of slaves and hierarchy and jobs and money and weird things that the culture doesn't have. They're just like that. But the AIs, they calculate that the best way to collapse this empire is not military might, but it is to bring in another player from the culture to win the game, and that will kind of collapse the society. This is the premise of the book. So the AIs contact this player of games, the guy, and they say, please, we met this new empire, this massive empire, and they have this new game. Are you interested in playing? And there's a long story there, but they bring him over to play the game. And it takes 2 years for him to travel there, or whatever it is, because it's a speed of, it's light years away. So he's traveling there and he's learning how to play the game. And there's an interesting story about the culture. They have these ships. Imagine a ship in space that's 20,000, imagine this ship in space that's 20 kilometers long and 5 kilometers tall. Like massive, massive ships. And each ship is a mind of its own. Like it's an AI mind that has its avatar walking around in the ship, and it's a whole thing. So in these ships, when he's traveling, they have this, for instance, a big park in the ship where people are playing with their own small propeller-driven planes, because the ships are so massive. This is the type of imagination that they have in these books. So he's traveling there, the player of games, and he's learning the game, he's learning the language to understand the game better. And there's a lot of play in the book between, you know, this utopian, this techno-utopian society of the culture and this archaic, hierarchical society of the empire. And how the player of games, Jorge is his name, how Jorge is kind of perplexed by these concepts of this old empire, how it works. Like there's a lot of domination involved, you know, about being the male is stronger than the female and things like this. And they have 3 sexes in the empire, it's weird. So he comes there, he starts playing, and you should read the book honestly itself. But I'll tell you briefly how it goes. He plays, he learns, and at the same time he learns about their culture, about their language. He becomes so immersed in the game. He does really well, and eventually he wins. There's like a long tournament. He wins, and that's it. The empire implodes. Now I'll let you read the book if you're interested. He goes there and he plays a long tournament, and there's a lot of, it's a fun storyline. These culture books in general, there's several of them, have super interesting concepts about a techno-utopian future, how it could look like. And maybe if you're interested, have a look.